චක්ඛවාලේසු අත්‍රා ගච්ඡන්තු දේවතා සද්ධම්මං මුනි රාජස් සුනන්තු සග්ග මොක්ඛදං ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තා ධම්ම ශ්‍රවණ කාලෝ අයං බදන්තෝ නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස. Dear brothers and sisters in Dhamma, today you have come to the Buddhist Maha Vihara to listen a Dhamma talk. This Dhamma Dana Series conducted by Buddhist Maha Vihara. So you have got good opportunity to listen a Dhamma talk. That means a Buddha's teachings. You can listen only very few factors of the Buddha's teachings. Today actually we are going to discuss about 7 factors of enlightenment. As we all know, all the Buddhist people in the world hopes to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. We want to get ultimate happiness, eternal happiness in our lives. As the Buddha's teachings, we have already identified all the people are suffering from various things. You know that the Buddha teaches us people suffering from birth to death. Otherwise, after that, their journey, sansaric journey, also we have to suffer a lot. That is why people want to liberate or want to get the liberation, and they want to stop birth and death circle, sansaric life. So that we discuss super mundane life, that means the enlightenment. The Buddha's teachings is attain Nibbana, ultimate happiness. There is no person to happy. That's the reason. Then we suffer, you know, that we want to prevent suffering from birth, disease, death, and old age. And do you like to get old age? No, we don't like to be old one. No, we don't like. But we have to. Or we have to be old ones one day. That's the nature of our life. So then, that grief, lamentation, despair, all the things are there. So that is why Buddhist people wants to get eternal truth, eternal happiness. The Buddha teaches us many discourses. The first discourse, when we consider first discourse, we called it Dhamma Cakkappawattana Sutta. It says the Four Noble Truth. Then Four Noble Truth, that one way of, that means the dukkha and suffering, the reason of suffering, dukkha samudaya, the cessation, dukkha nirodha, the path of cessation, dukkha nirodha gamini, patipada. Then that is why how to get the nibbana. In the first and foremost discourse is teaches us. But many of Buddhist people or many of us couldn't follow it. That is why we are going day by day our sansaric life. Think about, we don't know our previous life. Then the Buddha also says that only few people go through the sansaric life. Most of the people go back to or come back to sansaric life. That is the nature. Because few people understand the truth, the Buddha's teachings. Then the Buddha, that means that Four Noble Truth or other Satta Bojjhanga or 7 factors of enlightenment, that is not the that means that find out, that is not finding out by the Buddha. Because that it is in the world. The Buddha came to this world and saw these Dhamma, the factors or Dhammas, to follow the people. Then the Buddha teaches us 37 factors, qualities of enlightenment. And people cultivate these 37 factors in their mind. Cultivate mind. So, 37 factors, that we can know 4 foundations of mindfulness and 4 types of effort, 4 bases of mental power, 5 spiritual faculties, 5 spiritual powers, 7 factors of enlightenment, the noble eightfold path, all are 37. Then today we are discuss about 7 factors of enlightenment. That means we cannot say, that means we can't, that there are 7 factors. But we can't separate 7 factors. This is only factor. That is these are the qualities like that. But altogether they are interrelated things. 7 factors are interrelated. That means we call it Satta Bojjhanga in Pali. 7 factors of enlightenment, Satta Bojjhanga. Satta means 7. The Bodhi meaning awakening or enlightenment, Bodhi. That is why the Pali we called, in Pali language we called Satta Bojjhanga. There are 7 factors. That means mindfulness, the one sati, Pali we call sati. Investigation of dhammas, Dhamma Vijaya Bojjhanga. Then energy or effort, viri, rapture or joy, piti Bojjhanga, piti. Tranquility, passaddhi, passaddhi. Then concentration, samadhi, equanimity, upekha. These are the 7 factors of enlightenment. Developing these 7 factors, you can enter the super mundane life. Super mundane means you can be a noble person. We called Arya Savaka. From worldly life or Putajjana. Then according to the Buddha, the 7 factors are taught by Samma Sambuddha. That means that dhammas, that 7 factors are taught as Samma Sambuddha. That means nobody can't find without Samma Sambuddha. That is why, that means Vesak Day is very important to Buddhist people. Without Buddha, we cannot practice this Dhamma. That means various Buddhas in our history, 28 Buddhas. Then the Gautama Buddha passed away or got his, that means demise 2566 years ago. Very long time. But anyway, we can practice this Dhamma now also. Then you know that mindfulness factor is the first one, first factor. That each factor support the subsequent factor, developing subsequent factor. That each factor supports. That means that you think that mindfulness supports to develop investigation of Dhammas. The investigation Dhammas, that means the Dhamma Vichaya, supposed to development of virya, effort. That means virya supports development piti. Piti supports to development of passaddhi. Then that supposed to develop samadhi, and samadhi is supposed to development of upekka. Then on the other hand, the Buddha says, when we practice, cultivate these 7 factors, first of all, we should associate good friends. That means spiritual friends. Spiritual friends, that is very important. The Buddha says that means when we want to practice or cultivate these 7 factors, we should associate spiritual friends, because we know we find various friends, we associate various friends in our lives, but they are not true friends. So that is why spiritual friends we should, because the spiritual friends advise us to do mindfulness or any other factors to go to Nibbana, to attain Nibbana. That is, spiritual friends supports us. Friends support us. Then one day, that Venerable Ananda, he says, he asks from Buddha, half of the Buddha's dispensation is be spiritual friends. That he says that the Buddha, this sasana or this Buddha dispensation depends on half of a spiritual person. The Buddha advised to Ananda, don't say like that. Don't say like that, Ananda, because my whole sasana depends on spiritual friends. You think about that. You know that when we consider the temples or monasteries, then you think about your home, mother, father, there are mother, father, or auntie, uncle, grandfather, grandmother, son and daughters, or brothers and sisters are there. They are relatives. But in monastery, are we relatives? No. That chief monks is not our relatives. No. He is not my relation. That means that there is a relationship because of Buddha Sasana. That is why we act like fathers and sons in the monastery, or mothers and daughters in nuns' monastery. That is why Buddha says that spiritual friends are very good to associate for Buddhist people. You also associate spiritual friends, then you can get that that understand Dhamma, or you can teach Dhamma. You know we know that Mr. Tilak Leslie also is that within spiritual friends, because he conducts these kind of good things, meritorious deeds, the conduct, then you can acquire meritorious deeds because of him. That is why Buddha teaches us we should associate spiritual friends. On the other hand, that when we discuss about that 7 factors, that wise attention plays a crucial role in the establishment of 7 factors. Wise attention means attention means yoniso manasikara. That means all the time we should have wise attention. Otherwise we can't do anything. Then you think about that means when you go to a journey by a bus, or that means you want to go to that any other town, Penang, you think, or KL city. That means you want to know the road, you want to know the path. That means when you drive a vehicle, you should know the rules and regulations, the roads, signs, and all the things. That is why always pay attention. Like mindfulness, that means sati. You should cultivate sati in your life. Then first factor is mindfulness. Mindfulness means that Pali sati. That means memory, that means that in English, memory, mindfulness, recollection, all the things are there. That means when we do something, you should do it in this moment. That means that when we live in, you should be living this moment, not the past or not the future. People always suffering from thinking past. You think the past actions and past things, and people think so much about future. They are fear of future, afraid of future, like that. That means the mindful awareness in play in here. That means attention, whatever happens from moment to moment. That means live in this time. Actually, in our day-to-day life, we should think about the future also. But all the time, people are lamenting, thinking past things. That means Ambalatika Rahulavada Sutta, the Buddha says to the Rahula monk, Rahula, whenever, that means whenever you want to do bodily action, you think it will be good or bad or painful to others. Then think about himself and others, third time both. That means himself and others. Like that. That is why that he do. That means before do the bodily action. Then while he doing bodily action, he also think about that. And after finish bodily action, he should think the bodily action he did. It was painful, that was unwholesome thing. It is good for himself and both people, it is wholesome thing. Likewise, he should think that past actions, but always most of the people thinking about, then I cannot do such a good thing. I couldn't do in the past wholesome thing. I did unwholesome thing, like this. But don't think about that. You should think this moment. Mindfulness is like that. That means that you know that the Buddha teaches us several times within the 37 requisite or factors or qualities of enlightenment. Several times he teaches mindfulness. I think you have heard it. You know that mindfulness is the four foundations of mindfulness, Satipatthana. That mindfulness is there, the four foundations. They found mindfulness as 7 factor of the Noble Eightfold Path. 7 factor. Samma Sati. You have heard it. Then mindfulness as one of the five spiritual faculties, Pancha Indriya. That also mindfulness is there. Then mindfulness as one of the 5 spiritual powers also, Sati. That means several times the Buddha teaches us that mindfulness. On the other hand, the mindfulness is balance factor of other 6 factors of enlightenment. Balance factor. Because when we do meditation, we always cultivate mindfulness, sati. That means the Buddha says, whenever we walk in, whenever we sit in, whenever we sleep in, whenever we toilet in, or whenever we eat in, always we cultivate sati, mindfulness. On the other hand, that is why I told you that means when we walk in, without mindfulness, we cannot walk. Sometimes that the car hits us, or when we go another way. That is why mindfulness should be sati, sambojjhanga. We practice it. That mindfulness meditation also, that means they think like that, when we start the mindfulness meditation, we should know, I am here. How do you know it? You are here. I am here because my legs touches the wall or cement or floor. My back touches the chair or seat. Then I know I am here. My head is here. Then when I close my eyes, I can hear the sounds of everywhere. That is why the mindfulness meditation, that whenever we do mindful meditation, that the meditator think like that. Then whenever we prepare a tea, we should cultivate mindfulness. Then do you know how much of sugar you add? How much of tea leaves you add? Otherwise, you cannot drink the tea. Likewise, you should, that means cultivate mindfulness. The mindfulness, that means the Satipatthana Sutta. The Buddha says, Majjhima Nikaya, Satipatthana Sutta. The Patthana means foundation. Sati means mindfulness. That means Buddha shows the clear guidance about 4 foundations of mindfulness. Thinking, completing of the body in the body, Kaya Anupassana. You have heard it, I think. You already heard it. Completing feeling in the feelings, Vedanupassana. Contemplating mind in mind, Chittanupassana. Completing mind object in mind object, Dhammanupassana. That is Satipatthana Sutta, the mindfulness is there. So, we always try to cultivate or develop the mindfulness, because this factor balance other factors. This factor is act as a balance factor of other factors. Then when we discuss the other factor, you know that mind investigation of Dhammas, Dhamma Vicaya Sambojjhanga. Vijaya means Dhamma. That means Dhamma Vijaya. Dhamma is the Dhammas. Vijaya means investigation or searching. Vicaya. What are we searching or investigate? That means we should investigate the Dhamma. That means the Dhamma Vicaya Bojjhanga says we should realize the reality of the world. First of all, reality of the world. What is the reality of the world? As you know, reality of the world, anicca, dukkha, anatma, impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, no self. We should understand that, because that we never understand the reality of the world, then we cannot do meditate, or we cannot do meditation, or we don't want to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. We don't want it. That is why Buddha teaches us, you should cultivate or develop the Dhamma Vicaya Bojjhanga, investigation of Dhamma. That you know, that impermanence of the world, that people, most of the people don't like to understand that anicca. That means, do you think the impermanence of this building? It is difficult to think, but this building also impermanence. Our life, impermanent. This temple, permanent. No, not permanent. Impermanence. Anicca. That is why people, that means we don't like to think that. We never think that, because we think we are eternal. We live long time. We think, but that Dhamma Vicaya means that you should understand this reality of the world. Then on the other hand, that means that's why the Buddha says that for noble truth also, we should understand. That means the Buddha teaches us several times that Dhamma, that means Dhamma Vicaya Bojjhanga, or the Vijaya Bojjhanga, investigation. You know that right view, Samma Ditti of Eightfold Path, first one. This is also, that means we should investigate Dhamma. Then we can find Samma Ditti, right view. Then Vimamsa, for basis of mental power, Iddhipada, Vimamsa. It also called that investigation of Dhammas. And 5 spiritual faculties, it's a Panya, wisdom. Wisdom also Dhamma Vicaya. Investigation of Dhamma. Investigation of Dhamma, you can understand the Panya, wisdom. You should realize the reality of the world. You can understand. Then the Buddhist literature says there are few things you have to cultivate for investigation Dhamma. That means that Buddhist literature says, inquiring about various aspects of the Buddha's teaching and practice. It is also Dhamma Vicaya Sambojjhanga, because that whenever you come to temple or whenever you live in leisure time, you can read the book, you can meditate otherwise. Simple, that people sometimes think that always think vipassana meditation, insight meditation. But that means you can usually do breathing meditation, anapanasati. Then, because you know that the Bodhisattva, Prince Siddhartha, that Suddhodana, King Suddhodana plowing that paddy field, that day Prince Siddhartha did breathing meditation. The Buddha most of the time do the breathing meditation. You can also do it. That means then always inquire in the Dhammas, the Buddha's teachings. Otherwise we can't find the enlightenment or knowledge. The other thing is cleanliness of one's physical body and the surrounding. That also that investigation Dhamma, that means cleanliness of one's body and surroundings. That means you can live free life in your home or temples. You can see that temple is very clean, no? Very clean. That is the way of the Buddha's teachings. On the other hand, that Dhamma Vicaya Sambojjhanga, that means third part of that literature says, association with wise person. That is why first thing I told you, you should associate spiritual friends. That literature says that wise person you should associate. That means that spiritual or wise friend guide you how to do meditation, or you will be taught Dhamma. So like that. Then if you want to attain Nibbana or attain enlightenment, then you should investigate Dhamma always, all the time. Then third one is Virya, energy of effort, Virya Sambojjhanga. That means effort is very essential thing, essential factor of our life. Without effort, we cannot do anything. You know that the Buddha came to Bodh Gaya, finding the truth. Vesak day, he say like this. You know that he says he sat down under the bo tree. He says, through only my skin, sinews and bone may remain, and my blood and flesh may dry up and wither away. Yet will I never move from this seat until I have attained full enlightenment. The Buddha's effort, determination, he says, he never moved from this seat until he has attained full enlightenment. That is why Buddha teaches us we have energy or effort, so energy or effort to practice the Dhamma. Otherwise, we cannot do it. And many suttas says some people, that means lazy people, they postpone the work. Then some people, you think that Buddha says one person, he wants to go to another place journey. Then he think, tomorrow I am going to that city, then today I cannot meditate. Then after going that journey, he thinks, then I am tired, now I cannot meditate. No. The sick person also like that. Sick person, he thinks, now I am sick, now I cannot meditate. Then after recovering, then he thinks, now I am recovering, but if I do meditation, I will be sick. Then he thinks like that. The Buddha says, likewise, we postpone all the things. That means if we don't have cultivated virya bojjhanga. That means, and in applied effort, the Buddha says, spiritual development, it needs 3 efforts. It needs 3 efforts. That means that when we do something, or when we want to start something, we should have effort, virya. It says, arambhaka dhatu virya. That means when we want to start something, I should have some effort. Otherwise, we cannot start that one. Then I started something. Then I should have some effort to continue it. Otherwise, I cannot continue. I have an effort. It called Pali Nikkama Dhatu Virya. Nikkama Dhatu Virya. Then third one, that when we want to start something, we should have some effort, or when we do something, or when we continuously do something, we should have some effort. That's why second one. Third one, I started something, I continuous it, then I will do it at the end of that task. That means end of that task I will do it. That is the third effort, parakkama dhatu virya. Third effort. Now then, if you want to do the mindfulness or the investigation of Dhamma, and you should have virya. Otherwise you cannot Meditate. You think about that. When you want to observe Attanga Sila, that means 8 precepts, you have effort. Otherwise, you cannot come because you have some work in your homes. No, your home. Then you think, I want to do some work. I want to meet my friends. Then I cannot go to the temple to observe 8 precepts, like that. That is why we should have 3 effort. Then the Buddha, you teaches us 8-fold path, that right effort. You know that Chattaro Sampadana, you have heard it. That is that to prevent the development of unwholesome mental states that have not arisen. 4 virya, 4 efforts. That is the Buddha teaches us in 8-fold path. To prevent the development of unwholesome mental states that have not arisen. Remember that. Second one, to abandon the unwholesome mental status that have arisen. Then third one, to cultivate wholesome mental states that have not arisen. To cultivate wholesome mental states that have not arisen. Third one. The fourth one is to maintain mental states that have arisen. There are 4 viryas, 4 efforts in 8-fold path. Right. You know that those things, know that. I think that means always you should cultivate or maintain wholesome activities or meritorious deeds. You should prevent or avoid unwholesome mental states. That is also effort, virya. Then fourth one, I think rapture or joy. This Dhamma talk, that discourse is very lengthy one. You know that we cannot say that 1.5 hours. I think it takes 1 day or 2 days, 3 days we can discuss. But today we cannot do it. We have that limited time. So that rapture joy, fourth one, rapture joy. That means, you know that Buddhist people are happiest people in the world. Buddhists are happiest people in the world. Why? We should understand the reality of the life. Anicca dukkha anatma. According to that understanding, we do various things. We live in this society. Calmness and peaceful way. So that means that is why happiness, joy should be within us. Joy is also in your mind. Happiness is in your mind. not the body, but our body expresses our happiness. No, you know that when we in anger or something, people should know, should understand, you are in anger. Then when we are laughing, smiling, people know we are in happy mood. Then you always think about that. Live in happiest person. Forget you all the obstacles and worries, all the things. Whenever people, some people, you know that some people, whenever we meet, they never smile. Because that means we cannot pay for the smile. No. Who can pay? Nobody. But we can smile with people, others. That is also joy. Joy means that either that there are two kinds of joy, sensual joy or non-sensual joy. Sensual joy means when we receive messages and we see our 6 doors, sense doors, 6 doors, you know, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. That gives, those things give us sensual pleasure. That means when we see something, if we like it, we are in pleasure, we are happy. When we see some ugly thing, we are not happy. When we hear which is the sound is I like, then I am happy. Then we hear the sound that is not I like, I don't like it, so I am not happy. But that is a sensual pleasure. But non-sensual pleasure is the spiritual pleasure. Spiritual pleasure is that means it gets doing meditation. Spiritual pleasure. Others cannot see it. The Buddha, you know that Buddha, he has spiritual pleasure. Arahant, that most of the Mahasangha, they have spiritual pleasure, happiness, spiritual happiness. Then try to do that meditation and spiritual happiness. Then mean that the Buddha says, that means you know that Visuddhimagga, the Buddha that means written by Buddha Ghosa Mahatero. He says that some 5 kind of piti, rapture, minor rapture, momentary rapture, showing rapture, then uplifting rapture, pervading rapture, like that. But pervading rapture is good things, he says, uplifting rapture like that. Other rapture is that mind rapture is only 1 second, that happiness is gone out. Like the momentary rapture also like that. Shanik, that means kuddaka piti, shanika priti, like that. Then passadhi. And passadhi also, that means it's piti leads to passadhi. Then passadhi, you know that way that the Buddha says tranquility of the mental qualities, tranquility of the mind of consciousness, like that. Then after that, concentration of samadhi. Samadhi means that it is pointedness of mind. That means when we do meditation, we think about pointedness in mind. That means that you do mindfulness, that investigation Dhamma, and the Viriya and Preeti, it leads to that Passadhi, Samadhi. Then after that, Upekka also. Upekka, you know that Upekka means that the sublime states. Buddha says Upekka. That means we think. That means the Upekka, the Buddha says, it is think about all the things. That means that joyful, or that means the sufferings, or say that means think all the things. That means when we, what do you call it? When we, that means do some think, it is that means unwholesome or wholesome thing. We think the middle path, Upekka. That means that Buddha says this is neutral one. Upekka means neutral one. People don't think so much all the things. That Brahma Vihara said, that means that you know that people, that one example, people experience world experience, that you know that labha, alabha, gain and losses, and the dispute and pain, blame and praise, pleasure and pain. That means worldly conditions. The Buddha says don't think about too much of all the things, because it is happening in the world. That you know gain, sometimes something gain, we can gain it. Sometimes we lost, you know that the people lost most various things in period of the COVID time. Their business reduced, like that. But don't think, do it because the worldly conditions and all the things. Don't think those things too much. Then the Buddha says, that means that when we, that means wind up that sutta, that Satta Bojjhanga, that the Bojjhanga, that means Sanyutta Nikaya, there is a sutta called Sila Sutta. The Sila Sutta says, that means the advantages of the Bojjhanga, cultivating Bojjhanga or cultivating the 7 factors of enlightenment, people can get some advantages. The first one, there are, that means that Sila Sutta says that advantage, one becomes an arahant early in this life itself. One, that means if he practice or if he cultivate the 7 factors of enlightenment, he can get or he can become arahant in this life itself. Because sometimes some people say, oh, no, that then I will go to Nibbana after next birth or next time, like that. But this, the one becomes arahant early in this life itself. Then someone, that means the practicing these things, someone cannot become that arahant in this life itself. Again, then that means he says in this life means now itself he can get the arahant. If not, one becomes an arahant at the time of the death. So that at the time of the death someone can become arahant. If not, that second one is, if not, then what will happen? Then someone can get arahant in this, then after, that means after death. That having born in non-returner, anagam, that anagam, non-returner. Then non-returner, he becomes arahant first part of the non-returner life after death. Then next one, he becomes arahant second part of the life in non-returner, anagami. Like that, there are many advantages. So, anyway, I think I want to say you or teach you these 7 factors of enlightenment, but we cannot discuss in deep manner because of no time limitation. So, if we have time, we will discuss one by one day that Dhamma Dana series. If we have the opportunity. Because the Buddha says, Buddha teaches us all the Dhammas, but various people, they never practice Dhamma. They have done meritorious deeds every day. Dana, generosity, and observing seal, like that, meditation. But we pay attention to do meditation whenever we have the time. That is why mindfulness, when we go by train or by bus, we will do mindfulness, meditation. Or when we walk in, or when we sit in, when we speak in, when we cook in, when we toilet in, we do mindfulness. That is the Buddha's teachings. So, you can do these things, you can cultivate, or you can practice 7 factors of enlightenment. And may you all be well and happy, good health and longevity. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. If there are some questions, so then we discuss.
Bhante, just now you mentioned about sati being the foundation for the rest of the remaining 6. But don't you think virya should be the most important thing? Without virya, if you don't make an effort, you don't do anything else.
Yeah.
Whether it's meditation or whether it's mindfulness, whether it's investigation of the Dhamma or whatever. I think the foundation for me is virya.
Yes.
If you don't put an effort in, everything is zero.
Yes. No, that is why that good question. Then that is why I told you that the 7 factors are interrelated. we cannot separate one by one. This is the first thing is we should do. This is the first thing we do. We cannot say like that. But you are, that means right some way, because the mindfulness is also, that means we can't do in mindfulness. That means we cannot live in mindfulness. We don't have virya also. That means that on the other hand, if we don't have virya, we can do mindfulness like that. That is why these things are interrelated things. So that is why that some maybe that we have some virya also to develop the mindfulness, and the mindfulness also that we help to develop the virya also. These things are interrelated. We cannot separate one by one, because that the Buddhas teaches us that mean mindfulness like that, because that means that you know that eight noble path. The first one is samma ditthi, right view. Like that, there is no that hierarchy. That first one you do, this one is firstly, like there is no like that. All are interrelated things. I think you got the answer. No, that.
Because a lot of questions, like I don't know how to start. He's mentioned 5 kinds of piti. He mentioned something called momentary rapture or momentary piti.
Yeah.
What are the other pitis? What are the other?
That means that there are that priti means that you know that there are that the Buddha goes Thero, Visuddhi Magga, that means Sutta says that one. That means momentary priti. That means the only moment we have that priti. Wait a bit. That priti. On the other hand, that wait a bit, because that moment that means minor rapture, piti. Minor picture, priti, or minor means the kuddaka. That means only the 1 second that piti disappeared. Is disappeared.
This is by duration?
Yeah, not duration. Only 1 second that piti is disappeared. Yeah. Then momentary rapture. Momentary rapture means shanika piti. Then another one, showering rapture. That means showering like that. It's like you know that mean thundering or something, that past light like that. That yes.
What did you call it?
That means that it is, you know, that flashes of lightning. The thunder, that means whenever that means rainy days, like that. It is also very, that mean few seconds.
This is momentary.
Yes, sir. All the things are like that. That these are, that means there is no that big things. Only that shanika piti means like that. Uplifting rapture. Uplifting rapture means that uplifting. Uplift that one, uplifting, uplifting piti.
So what kind of rapture is this?
Oh, that means that kind of happiness is somewhat that long time, sustaining. The another thing is pervading rapture.
Pervasive.
Pervading means that. That means pervading rapture. Yeah.
Right.
That.
That means it can it can go out, right?
That means that rapture is that whole, that means it takes, that means it depends that our whole the body and the long time priti rapture.
It can come out.
Yeah.
It can expand, right?
Expand, yeah.
Right. You can send it to others.
Yes.
Right.
There is that Visuddhi Magga, that
What's the 4th one and 5th?
5th one is the pervading rapture. 4th one,
Pervading.
just the minor rapture. momentary rapture,
Oh, okay, there's a
momentary. Momentary also that it is not.
And what's the final one, Bhante?
Pervading rapture.
That is the.
Yeah, that is that rapture. That means fills the whole body. That piti fills the whole body. Thing. It is also that last one is the spiritual piti, spiritual rapture.
Oh, that's the last one.
Yeah, last one.
What's spiritual pity? I thought the whole thing was spiritual pity.
Yeah, that Visuddhi Magga says like that.
I see.
This one.
This is from Visuddhi
Yeah.
Magga.
You should mention that Visuddhi Magga.
Bhante, how do you differentiate pasadi? I always confused with these few terms. Pasadi, samadhi, upeka. How you differentiate the different?
That means there is sometimes we cannot say difference of all the things, because that all the things that mean development of our mind. So then we should, that mean that only that these things comes to the meditation. That means passaddhi means, that means piti leads to passaddhi, or leads to passaddhi. Then passaddhi, then concentration is pointedness in mind. That means whenever we do meditation, we came one point. That is the concentration, samadhi. That means that concentration of mind, pointedness in mind. Like that. That upekka means that means perfectly balanced mind. Balanced mind. That means all the things, that mindfulness and the investigation of Dhamma, all are, that means all the things in our minds. That means balance factor is the upekka. All the things balanced. Upekka. That is, yeah. That means that when we discuss about that sublime states, Brahma Vihari, also that means balance factor, that upekka means. That means if we do the mind or meditation, or when we live in our life also, that we should have some balance. That is why that I call that gain and loss, praise and blame, like that. Should be balanced person.
Upeka in Brahma Vihara is the same upeka.
Yes. That is why I call the Buddha discuss several times these kind of mental factors, but all are that very same meanings, same things. Yeah.
Equanimity, right?
Equanimity.
Must meditate to experience.
That means you read that we should practice Dhamma. Then we can understand all things. You know that means especially the Buddha teaches us Four Noble Truth. He says that if we understand the Four Noble Truth, we can attain Nibbana. But we know that all the things, but we never understand. That's the reason. No, we never understand. We know what are that means they are the sufferings, they are the cause of sufferings. No, that they are this is the prevent of suffering, this is the path of suffering. That means only we have knowledge, but not the understanding. There's a problem that understand. That is why we should practice Dhamma. And that means first of all the things we should meditate. Meditation. Do the meditation. Yes.
Can we conduct the Anumodana?
Anumodana, okay. So, yes. Now finished. Okay. I am very happy to hear with you. I think more than 1.5 hours. I think you have understand or enrich your knowledge. I don't know. I think you have get some knowledge about 7 factors of enlightenment. I think listening to a Dhamma, you have accumulated many merits in your life. Because the Buddha says this is the only way to attain Nibbana. So then I think you have to think more and more, study more and more the 7 factors of enlightenment. Then you can attain Nibbana. So first of all, I would like to transfer merits your departed one, because our departed ones may be parents or relatives, they help us lot, they nourish us well. So our responsibility is to transfer merit. So may our departed ones be well and happy, good health and long life wherever they live. And may they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And most of that mean deities who safeguarding us, we transfer merits to Devas. They also may be happy and good health, and may they attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And you and your family members, think all of them. Then may you be well and happy, good health and long life. May your dreams come true. Finally, may you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Akasatta cha bummatta deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditta chiran rakkantu loka sasanam. Abhivadana silisse niccan vaddapachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhanti ayu anno sukham balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti minate samijjatu. May Triple Gem bless you.